Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you are here tonight. I am Prudence, and this is an amazing opportunity. Wherever you're connecting from, I want you to know that I value you and you are loved. Thank you so much for showing up. I don't take it for granted. So, this is our youth session, and we are here to give young people clarity and direction, on tough decisions that they make regarding university, education, and life after school. And with us here, we have our amazing speakers. Thank you so much, Sir Joshua, for joining us here today. Thank you, Sir, and thank you, Sir Chris, for joining us today. Um, so we have amazing speakers here who have faced confusion after graduation and who have navigated it successfully. And they are here to give us guidance and advices on how to go about it. So you as a viewer, to every viewer out there, I want you to know that I appreciate you so much. And if you are currently at a crossroad in your life regarding education and purpose, if you're a graduate and if you're perhaps a student and you are finding it difficult to navigate life in school or life after school, then do well to drop your questions. You can drop them in the comment section or you can send a message to the number that I will be trying to display on the screen so that if you want to come on studio with us, you can do that. So right now, let's go briefly into the introduction of our amazing speakers here. Our first speaker is Sir Chris Opong. Now, Sir Chris Opong was here during our last live, and Sir Chris dropped wisdom. I mean, that shifted the atmosphere. So, Sir Chris, thank you so much for joining us once again. We really do appreciate you, sir. We don't take your presence for granted. So, Sir Chris is the CEO at Gleanax Tech Innovation. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And also the director at uh, I think Hill Foundation, yes. And Hill Foundation is currently doing, transforming young minds and young lives. And I'm really amazed at the work they are doing. If you're a youth, Sir Chris Punk is the right person to follow if you are passionate about purpose and living the right kind of life. Okay, thank you so much, Sir Pong. And next we go to Sir Joshua. Okay, Sir Joshua's network is kind of unstable, but still, Sir Joshua is a youth mentor and a professional coach. And he's here today to give us his own unique experiences regarding this topic. And our last speaker is still yet to come on stage. So, Sir Pong, please, I'm giving you a few minutes to introduce yourself to our audience. Let's hear directly from you, sir. You have the stage.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm really honored to be here this evening to share my views with you about the topic on board. I'm Chris Opon from Ghana, and I'm the director of the Health Foundation, which is focused on helping young people discover their interest so they can align them with their lives as well as their schooling. Also, I'm the CEO of the Glynas Tech Innovations. We are making technology more sensible and then accessible to everyone, where people can use technology themselves to solve the problems they face daily. So there are quite a number of products we've built, and one day, if I get the opportunity, I would share with you all. And the topic on board, I think must everyone go to the university, right?
Yes, sir, please come again. I didn't quite hear you
Yeah,
clearly.
that's something exciting I would want to talk about. So when
Thank
it's
you.
time for us to talk about it, I mean, I would give the best that I have. So I'm glad to be here with you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. All right, so Sir Joshua, we were just making your introductions before you came. So please, sir, let's hear you introduce yourself personally and what you do.
Okay, good evening, Prudent and the other speakers. Just like you rightly introduced me, my name is Joshua. I'm a youth mentor. I'm very passionate about youth. So that
Okay.
passion has driven me to actually do a lot of stuff with youths. And I believe with this kind of program, I think we'll go further to impact the life of youth, because the truth of the matter is that they are not enough. There are a lot of youths out there that need this kind of seminars, webinars. So I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll be able to impact a lot of people here.
Thank you so much, Sir Joshua. We are so glad to have you. Okay. Sir Kamal was just on the screen, and I think his network is unstable too. So, right away, before we dive into the question and answer session, please, if you have your questions, drop them in the comment section. You are currently at a crossroad in your life. You are lost, you are confused, you don't know what to do after school. Please, our speakers are here. They have passed through the stage and they are here to guide us so that we will not make the mistakes that they made. So please drop your questions in the comments. And also, if you want to join us on studio, why not? We'll be glad to have you. We want to hear your voice. Try to see if I can drop the uh, phone number so you can text on WhatsApp. Okay, so please, let's dive into our first questions before our viewers drop their questions. We have some here that I have received before our live and during our last live session. Sorry, someone said, "What is personal education and how do we educate ourselves?" Because when Sakris was teaching, I guess he talked about personal education. He said that if you don't want to go to the university, there are other alternatives that you can, actually apply, you can take and go for. And he talked about AI, he talked about educating yourself. So someone was like, please, I want to be clear on that personal education and what it means to educate yourself. So please, let's hear your opinions on this as.
All right. I think I can talk, right?
Yes, sir, yes, definitely. Thank you.
Okay, so that's a good question, and I want us to break it very down. First of all, let's talk about the word personal. Personal is something that talks about you. I mean, the person in question over here. Do you get my point? And then let's say education. We know education is the act of acquiring knowledge and skills to apply
Yeah.
in our lives to make our lives better. So when we say personal education, we're talking about you yourself, as I said, acquiring knowledge and skills to apply in your life to make your life better. But then before you can consider acquiring knowledge or skills, you must have something you're interested about. That is why it is essential to know yourself and what you want to do. So when you get to know yourself and the things you want to do, that is when you can what? Learn something about it yourself. And that's when I recommended that you can learn from books, from social media, using AI to guide you. So personal education is basically you learning on your own without a teacher coming to tell you that pick a book and read, or without you reading just because you want to go and write an exam and pass, but because you want to fill yourself with knowledge and wisdom. So personal education becomes easy when what you want to educate yourself on is something you are genuinely interested in. It's not something that someone is telling you to go and read about, but something you just want to know. For instance, some
Yeah.
people want to understand the universe and they go to space just to do so many wonderful things and come up with updates. Imagine like the risk they go through. If they are not genuinely interested about this field, I don't think they'll be doing it. Because if you pick um, a rocket, you join a rocket or any spacecraft, anything like that can take you to the space. I mean, there are so many things that can happen in terms of accidents and misfortunes. You get it, but then these people overcome these fear and still go up there to get the knowledge or to get what they want. So you have to be sure of what you want, and then personal education will be very like easy for you. You wouldn't have to wait on someone to come and tell you to go and read what you want to know, read about what you want to know, or any other thing. So that's how personal education is. It's a process of you learning something yourself. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much, Sir Chris. You have indeed expatiated on that. And if you are not clear on the question, Sir Chris has explained. So please do well to. Okay, so Sir Chris, are there ways, practical ways, you can suggest that we can, educate ourselves personally? I mean, respect to our different.
Okay, so the practical ways I would say, first of all, identify what you are interested in. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you are interested in it? After identifying that, then you have to get resources about what you want to learn. So let's say you want to learn more about engineering. Let's say you want to know how to craft or design or create things. So let's say you want to learn something about graphic design. After identification, you then search for resources. Now you want to know what the thing is all about. And by the grace of social media or the internet, now we have resources online. You go online to search for the book that relates to what you want. So let's say if it is engineering you want to learn, we have the various fields in engineering. You choose that field. Maybe you want to learn about electrical engineering. You then go online, you search for books related to electrical engineering. You can have a lot of access to, you can have access to a lot of books, online. And then you go to YouTube to search for electrical engineering. You're going to get a lot of messages, a lot of videos to watch on electrical engineering. So that is one simple way you can go about it. And then after learning, to be sure that what you are learning is true or you are not being deceived, you have to test what you've learned. So let's say they taught you how to connect a wire to get electricity. You try to get some wires and then do it. And make sure you follow the precautions and everything that they give you. That is the only way you truly learn. That is when you apply it. If you'd be frank with yourself, that so many things we learned in basic four or when we were in
Yeah,
the KG. I don't know if you have KG in your country. We don't
yes,
remember
yes,
them because we are not applying them or we don't apply them. But the
uh,
moment you apply what you are learning, it becomes a part of you and then you don't forget it. So these are practical ways we can personally educate ourselves. Let's say you want to learn more about communication. After learning tips about communication, what you must do next is to apply those tips. And that is only when you can tell that indeed you've educated yourself and then what you learned is transforming you. So these are ways we can educate ourselves and then be better to fit into the society. Yeah.
wow, thank you so much, Sir Chris. I picked something from what you said. You said, don't just learn, apply what you learned. And that is really powerful because we have people who have read books, we have people who know lots of things, but the problem starts with application. We don't have much persons who are doing. We have much who know, but not who do. Thank you so much, Sir Chris. Sir Joshua, I don't know if you're still with us or if your network is also unstable, but if you have something to contribute to this topic, sir, please. Okay.
I'm actually here.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. So, do you have a
Okay, so
contribution?
okay, yes, just to add to what Mr. Chris has rightly said. One of
Yes.
my favorite personal quotes is take personal growth personal.
Okay.
You
Please come
understand? That
again.
I said take personal growth personal.
Wow. Take personal growth personal. Please write that down.
It's just like now, for instance, now you hear people, he insulted me, she insulted me. That means you took it personal. It really got to
Mhm.
you. So for
Mm.
personal growth, every youth, every teen that desires to do anything worthwhile in life must take it personal. So
Mhm.
if you know that your path is not necessarily tilting towards a traditional university system, that
Okay.
means you have to be very, very serious about personal growth. Just like this our speaker rightly said, you have the daily disciplines
Yeah.
required to actually follow that path.
Yeah.
You have a structured life that will guide you in that direction. For instance, now the leadership expert John Maxwell
Yes.
said said he said daily disciplines compound.
Mhm.
What if you are doing some if you've been doing a particular thing for the maybe you want to become probably maybe a life coach and you have been on it for the past maybe 5 years, can you be consistent? I mean daily. Are there things that you will do daily to make sure that you get to that height where people can say that okay, this person is really a life coach that has touched life. So basically, at this point, I just like to tell any youth out there who is thinking probably I'm not really into this traditional educational path. The question they should ask themselves is, do they have the daily disciplines required to follow through to see that they become successful? Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. This is really powerful. So, what I learned is you must have the discipline because without doubt, school gives kind of a certain structure or discipline, telling you what to do, when to do, how to do. And if you decide not to follow the traditional path, for most persons, it becomes very difficult to define those structures on their own. So, what you have just said, sir, is really, really powerful. Let's take note. Let's take note. You can write that down. So someone has jotted a question in the comments, and it says, "My question goes like this: I love acting, but my parents want me to study engineering. Wow, what do I do?" So, sir, these questions are for you. My parents love, okay, my parents want me to study engineering, but I love acting. They don't even connect. Okay, so please, what are your advices for this particular commenter, sir? Hi, Elena Jade. Miss Elena, thank you so much for joining us.
Can you come again?
Okay, the person says, my question goes like this. I love acting. I love acting, but my parents want me to study engineering. What do I do?
Okay. That's one common question we face when we go for our outreach at the Health Foundation. You see, in our world, it is known that our parents know the best for us. When you even consider um, Christianity, it is the assumption is we don't have to ask for anything from God because what is the assurance that what we are asking is what God wants for us, and God knows the best for us, and He's going to give us the best. That is the assumption, and this thing
Yeah,
has really affected so many of us in so many ways. And before you can truly say this is what you want, it means you really know this is what you want. Mostly our parents are scared that if we take a certain path, we will not succeed, and they think that if you take the path they are recommending, you are going to succeed. To cut everything short, what I'm trying to say here is that our parents have an upper hand when it comes to I mean our decision making. Yeah, they try to
yeah,
influence our decision most of the times. But then if you truly want to do what you are talking about, you have to find a way to convince your parents that this is what you want to do. They should trust you, they should give you the support, and you are going to deliver. If you don't talk to them, it is only communication that would let this thing happen, because communication is about talking for someone to understand you. So if you don't talk to them for them to understand, they will impose what they want you to do. And you might be capable of doing it, but at the end you realize that you don't have that inner satisfaction. You
yeah.
think that you have the satisfaction, but you don't have. I'll use myself as an example. There's something I normally do in the evening that's like a side job. I do it just to get money. And when I'm doing it, I get the money, I'm happy. But when I come home, I'm not happy. Even though I have the money, I'm not happy. But there are certain things I do, I don't even get money out of it. Something like this. But I'm
Yeah.
happy doing it because it is what I love. So what I
Wow.
want the person to understand is that your problem is about communication and letting your parents understand that you are capable of doing what you said you do. Because if you don't give them any proof that the path you want to take is something that would help you in the future, they are not going to agree. They will just try to impose theirs on you. So just prove yourself that what you want to do is something that will help you. Go to them, let them know how it is going to help you. So in that case, it means you should study what you want to do very, very well, and know more about it, and then try to let them understand that this is what you want to do. So they should give you their support. Other than that, it's going to be a confusion where you'll be like, I don't want to do it. They'll be like, do it. I don't want to do it. They'll do it, and then there will be no
Yeah.
agreement. So communicate. The key here is communication. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much, Sir Chris. So Sir Chris has advised that you communicate with your parents. And communication is key. Wow, I love that point. Okay, Sir Joshua, do you have something to contribute to this question?
Yes. First of all, I would like to ask the person asking this question.
Hmm.
You say you love acting. Now,
Acting.
are you good? Are you good at acting? Because it's not enough to be passionate about
Wow.
something. Are you
Yes,
good
sir.
at it? You understand? So if we answer that question, then we'll now understand how to deal with your parents. Because I've realized that a lot of people have passion in areas where they don't really have competence or capacity.
Mm,
For
mm,
instance, for instance, a a fish will never fly.
yes.
You understand? It doesn't have the capacity. It doesn't have the potential to fly. Yeah, even though sometimes you see dolphins in the going up and down, but they will never fly in the air. Do you understand?
Mm.
So
Yes,
don't
sir.
I don't want them to be carried away by, oh, I love this, I love doing this. What
Yes.
what you love, you must have a mix of capacity and competence. Now
Yes.
that said, your parents want you to study engineering. I've come to the realization that if you if you are personal, or if you take personal responsibility. For
Yes.
instance, now maybe your parents you buying books on acting, taking courses. Your parents might be like, this person seems serious. But when you are not
Mm.
really doing anything, mommy, I want to act, daddy, I want to act. If that is all
Yes.
you are doing, they'll be like,
Yes.
this person is not.
Exactly, sir.
So there are some. I go back to my first point. Personal disciplines you build around your life. Your parents will say, this
Mhm.
one just leave her, oh, is acting. Just leave her.
Yes.
If your parents don't see you buy books, your parents don't see you, your parents even set your social media. You say you love acting, but you are not following the great actors in Hollywood or whatever. You understand? You are on
Yes.
TikTok dancing. Your parents will say, no, this person is not serious. So what am I trying to say in essence? It's not enough to want to do what you love. You must also
Mhm.
have capacity and competence for it. Then also begin to, if you truly have capacity, then now begin to build some structures around your life that will make your parents know that, wow, this person is serious. At some point, they will have to leave you and say, let this person just go.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sir Joshua. This is indeed, I mean, this is bomb. Let me use Nigerian language. This is bomb. I love what you said. It is not enough to be passionate about something. You must what? You must have the discipline. And what you said is just the, absolute truth. In short, let me try. That is the truth. Because as an African parent, most especially, over there in the country of the whites, they can just say, "Mom, I love this," and they can sponsor you to any level you want. They can actually invest in your talent, even when they are not seeing tangible results yet. But African parents, they want to see proof because they don't want a situation whereby the thing is not paying. So they believe that okay, engineering will pay at least when you graduate, you have a certificate, you can get employed in a company. So, sir, what you said, you just hit the nail on the head. In short, I have nothing to add again. Thank you so much,
Then,
sir.
then, then sorry to interrupt you.
Yes,
A word for parents. You know,
yes.
some of our parents now, if they were, imagine 30 years ago, they were on this platform. Let's say
Mm,
Prudence was here 30 years ago, and you were talking to the parents like a youth. They will, they
yes,
will,
sir.
they will get to a point where they will realize that I cannot impose anything on my child. Yes, you brought
Yes,
them to this world, but you did
mm,
not put purpose in them. Do you understand? So I think
yes.
as we are out there trying to help youth, I think is there are some times where we need to bring parents on board. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
If
Yes,
if
yes,
there are
yes,
some
yes.
parents, if there are some parents, they must have the final say in what their child does, and it's not so good. So I think I'll just kind of like plead with parents: observe your children,
Yes, sir.
observe them. If you know that okay, this person this is where this person's destiny is tilting towards. The least you can do is support them. Telling the least you
Yes,
can
sir.
do. Because if that person that loves acting now becomes the next Denzel Washington, the parents will be the one saying, ah, I said it, I said it, I said it, you
Yes,
know. So I think they should support. Thank you.
yes, 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 yes. So your children are not born to live your dream, because some parents, they being an engineer or a doctor is their dream. So since they could not achieve it, they pass it down to the children, and doing stuff like that. So please, dear parents, dear mommies and daddies listening to us, because I know that you will watch this video, please allow us to make our own decisions. And whatever we become tomorrow is your pride, and it will definitely make you proud. Thank you so much, sir. So now let's get to the next question without wasting much time. Someone asked me, how can I know my talent and discover my purpose? We've been talking about talent, and for some persons, it's really easy to know their talent. It's just so visible. You already know. Like when I was growing up, mom discovered that I'm a writer. So she was like, "Oh, Prudence, you are going for writing." So when I got to SS3, I think no, SS1, and I was supposed to choose between science and art. I told mom I'm going for science because I love science subjects. I want to be a doctor, in short. And everyone was just like, Prudence, you are good in science. So I said, I'm going for science. And she was like, what's wrong with you? You love writing and your writing is actually great. Why are you going for science? So she was able to guide me rightly, and I took the right decision by God's grace. If I had gone for science or studied medicine, I would have regretted it. So this person is asking that, how do I know my talent? For me, I was always writing. It was easy to know. But for a particular person who is even an adult now and he still doesn't know his or her talent right from a very tender age, nobody was able to discover it. Are there signs or are there questions that the person can answer in order to know his talent or purpose?
Who is taking this? Am I the one taking it?
Patrick, are you still with us, sir?
Come again.
Are you still with us, sir?
I didn't hear the question.
Okay. Okay, the question. Okay, okay, okay. So this person is asking Sada, how can I know my talent and my
Okay, that part
purpose?
I heard. I heard it. I heard it. I heard it. All right. So you see, knowing your talent is something that is quite like broad in the sense that you best know yourself when you're a kid. Okay, when you're a kid, that is when you truly know what you want, because that time you've not really been heavily influenced by your society, the things around you, and all that. So you still have that inner power, that inward strength, and then interest till your environment starts to influence you. So that is one easy way to know what you're interested in. So when you're young, or when you're very small, like a kid like 7, 5, 6 years, your parents can help you know what you really liked. That is if you don't lose yourself as you're growing. And then when you grow to this point where you don't really know what you want, then it becomes a journey of searching. If you want to discover
Mm,
something, you search for it. And
yeah.
searching wouldn't come just like that. If you want to search for something, it doesn't come as simple as that. You have to knock, you have to go here and there and all that. So you'd have to go through so many activities, and that is when you can really discover what you truly want. And even at a point, you discover something that you think you want, but then you would realize that that is not what you truly want. That was just a secondary thing or something. So discovering your purpose is not a one day thing. It's a journey, and that journey, each point you get to know yourself very well. So if you are confused about what you want to do, there's something that I can recommend, and that is, I mean, spending time alone with yourself, meditating. It gives your brain, or it calms your mind, and it helps you hear your inward self. You need that inward self, or that intuition, to make decisions. You see, we were not left alone on earth just like that. We were given that brain, that intuition, that inner power to communicate with, to get certain things done. And those of us who normally struggle with decisions is because we've not activated it. And even when it speaks, we don't hear. So this is more of like an inward work. And when you get aligned with yourself, you get to know what you're supposed to do. So one practice is that just try to be quiet, have a quiet time early in the morning, and indulge yourself in a lot of activities. You have to read, you have to explore. Reading is one way you
Yeah.
can explore. You read wide about so many things that would excite you. Try to understand yourself. You have to understand yourself. And you can only understand yourself when you study yourself. So studying yourself too will require you to be silent, to observe yourself and then watch yourself. I think that's what I can share with the person. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. This is a real practical step to know your discovering your Okay, Kadosha, please let's hear from you, sir.
Okay, so um, just to add to what our speaker said, if you want to discover your talents, although I prefer to use the word gift anyway, but I'll still go with what
Okay.
the, the question they asked. So there are some questions you need to ask yourself. What
Yes.
do you do? Do you do easily? Do you understand that other people find difficult to do? And also, like, what do you do effortlessly? You just do it, and it's like it looks easy to you, but it's not easy to others. Also, what areas do you outshine your peers? You understand? Those are some of the pointers to what your talent or gift will be. I remember when I was in secondary school, I was sporty. I was into sporting activities, athletics, and all that. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm back.
Okay, so I remember when I was in secondary school, I was always drawn towards athletics, football, yeah, athletics. So I just realized that there are some things I did. I knew that this one it was just pure talent. It's not like maybe I did anything extra. You understand?
Yeah.
So you ask yourself this question: if you want to know your talent, what captivates your interest? What are the things you are
Mm.
drawn towards? You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because what are some of the things that um capture your attention? I think those are some of the ways a person can discover their talent. Then to the
Mm.
area of purpose, if you want to discover your purpose, I think if the person is a Christian, what I will tell the person is look up, that's to God, look
Yes.
inward. If you look up, I don't get an answer, look inward. Like what are
Inward.
the things inside? Yeah, what are the things that are inside you that you be like, I wish I could do the same. Then if nothing comes
Mm.
from inside, look around you. What are the
Yes.
problems that you feel like you can solve?
Wow.
Because we are not all
Mm.
drawn to the same things. Do you understand? There are some people, for instance, now I live in Lagos currently. There are some people that they will never complain about traffic, they'll never complain
Mm.
about potholes. So that
Wow.
person cannot tell me he wants to become Lagos State governor because it's not affecting you. Do you understand? Potholes don't
Yes,
mean
sir.
anything. Why there are some people they complain about the traffic, and most times what you complain about is
Mm.
actually what you were born to solve. The problems you complain about. So you
Yes.
look inward, you look upwards, you look inwards, or you look around you. I
Mm.
think there are a lot of ways, but I don't want to actually eat up too much of our time because the area of purpose is my core
Download them,
area.
sir.
Like,
Give them to them.
okay,
We need
okay. So another thing again in discovering your purpose, what makes you angry? You understand? Mary
Mm.
Slessor was angry about the killing of twins in Nigeria. Angry. You
Yes,
can
sir.
imagine back then when they kill twins, they tell you, okay, and they
Mm-hmm.
maybe probably they're bewitched and all that. So her
Yeah.
anger Get that to the eradication of king of things. So what gets you angry? A lot of people waste their anger. I'm telling you for
Mm.
free. You waste it. That anger, channel it in the right direction. Channel it in the right direction.
Yes.
Another thing again is inspiration. What areas you have
Mm.
unusual inspiration? For instance, now this thing we are doing now is obviously your inspiration. Do you understand? A lot
Yes,
of
sir.
people are a
Yes,
lot of
sir.
people are inspired in many ways, but just like our first speaker said, when there's no monetary reward in the interim, because the reward will definitely come. But when there's no monetary reward in the interim, they throw away their inspiration. So what areas do you have
Mm.
inspiration? There are some people they just handle some things like this. It's unusual inspiration comes. Another one again is compassion. Are you
Wow.
drawn towards if you see children with autism? Those tears, those
Yes.
tears come down your face. You understand? So
Mhm.
if you there are areas where you find out that people have compassion. You just feel like
Yes, sir.
only if I could help this poor family, only if I could help them. So compassion is also another way by which you discover our purpose. There are some things
Okay.
that sometimes, maybe when I was growing up, my sister will be crying about something, but that thing does not move me. It doesn't move me at all because it's not my area. So any area where, for instance, now abortion, now some people are extremely compassionate
Yeah.
about maybe bills to prevent abortion. Then finally, on
Mm.
this note, what gives you fulfillment? Fulfillment is always the reward of following your
Yes.
purpose, but also you can use fulfillment to track what you were actually born to do. There are some things that you do and just realize that wow, just like our first speaker said, he said he did so. There are some things that he does that even though there is no immediate reward, there's
Peace
fulfillment.
fulfilled. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir Joshua. Thank you so much, sir. I am learning a lot. In short, I'm going to sell a course with this. I will have people together and sell it as a course. Thank you so much, Sir Joshua. Thank you, Sir Chris. All right, so we
You're
have
welcome.
another question in the comments, okay? Sir Trumpet Titan, okay? Sir Omar, he says, wow, look up, look down, and look around. True talk. Mhm. Yes, parents need to hear this, of course. Okay, so, okay, thank you, Ma'am Joy. Ma'am Joy says, my cousin got into the university, but there's no money. And she wants to pursue fashion designing. Okay, but her mom insists on going to school. They have to sell their only plot of land for tuition. Wow, this is really, really, really serious. What should they do? Hmm. My cousin got into the university, but there's no money, and she wants to pursue fashion designing, and her mom insists on going to the university. They would have to sell their only plot of land for tuition. What should they do? Okay, so Chris, this question is for both of us.
Does a person want to go and pursue fashion in the university?
Yes, the person said
Does
she loves
does a
fashion
person want to go
designing.
and
Okay,
pursue fashion in the university?
I don't know. It says my mom wants. Okay, my mom insists on going to the university, so it seems it's not a choice to go to the university.
Please hold on, I'm coming.
There's no money. Wow. My cousin got into the university, but there is no money, and she wants to pursue fashion designing. But her mom insists on going to school. They would have to sell their only plot of land for tuition. What should
Okay,
they
so
do? Wow.
okay, let me put it this way for them. I don't know if she wants to go and pursue fashion in the university, okay. But then one thing I want you to understand is that
I'm
everything
sorry,
in this
that
world
is there
you
a
can
cost
ask,
for
you can
fashion
later
designing?
ask. But one thing I want to say is that everything in this world that we want comes with a sacrifice or a price to pay.
Yeah.
Okay, you must pay the price in order to win the prize. Okay, so
Exactly.
with what they want to do, if that is what they really want to do,
Mm.
there's a price to pay. Okay, and if the price is for them to sell their land, they have to pay. But for me personally, I don't think I would sell my land, an asset, to
Hmm.
go and pay for tuition, okay? Because I believe that assets are not supposed to be sold. But then if I get to a point where I'm supposed to sell my asset to win a certain thing, or to pay for the price of a certain thing, and if that price I will get in return is heavier than the sacrifice I'm putting in, I think I will do that. Let's
Yes,
say
sir.
if I'm selling the land to pay for my tuition, and then after the tuition I'm going to get something that can give me multiple folds of the land I sold, it is something I
Mm.
will do. But then if I realize that the return, what I'll get in return, is not as heavy as what I'm giving out, I wouldn't do it. You get my point? But then we must put in our mind that everything that we want comes with a price. And then they can
Yes.
explore other options. As an entrepreneur, I think I would give them this advice. They can explore other options. As I said, selling an asset is not a good thing. It's not something I recommend. Yeah, so you can explore other options. And it's not, it's, if I don't think there's a timeline on the time they can go to the school. If there's nothing like a timeline, they can
Yeah.
explore other options, like trying to solve people's problem. Let's say I don't know if they can sell water in Nigeria and get money. If they can do that, they can try that for some period of time before they go to the
Mm.
university. Because an asset, an asset with time, the value increases. Do you get my point? For instance, if you bought a
Yes.
land last year at a certain price, you wouldn't get it at the same price this year. So
Mm.
I wouldn't advise you to sell the land for that. You can explore other options that can give you money. And if that option would let you have to wait for some time, there's nothing wrong with you waiting. And if you think that what you are going to use the money for would give you more lands, or I mean lands in multiple folds or whatever, I think you can also sell the land. So it all comes down to you, the person. You have to assess yourself and know what you are going in for. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much, Sir Chris. I've jotted down a lot already. So Sir Chris says never sell an asset because it will appreciate in value. So never sell your asset. And he also says explore other options. Okay. He says you can sell water in Nigeria, please. I hope you have gotten the idea. You can sell water in Nigeria. So please look for something to use, use that land to do something that will fetch more money instead of selling it. And another thing I also got from what Sir Chris said, it's a ratio of input versus output, sorry, input and output. So if your sacrifice is bigger than your results, then you have to weigh them both. You have to weigh them and decide if it is worth it or not. But if after school you have an assurance of a job, you have, someone who can employ you, perhaps with your certificate, and you are sure that you have a future after school, then why not? It means that you have a tangible result that you're going to get from your sacrifice. So thank you so much, Sir Chris. Thank you, sir. I have learned a lot. So, Sir Joshua, let's hear from you, please.
Okay, for me, I've had I won't in this part of the world, Nigeria, people that are not educated and people that
Hmm.
are educated, there is a big disparity.
Yes.
If you see a tailor who is not educated, you will know instantly.
Yes, sir.
Then
Yes.
if you see the one that went to school, there is this touch of will I call it excellence? Now let me give you a
Mm.
practical instance. I have a guy who sows natives for me. I gave him my natives in August.
Mm-hmm.
August. I called him. I've been calling him switched off, not reachable. So he called me back yesterday. I told him I've been calling him. He said, and I said, okay, how far? This is November. November. He said he will finish a close next week. He's not
Okay.
educated, but he's good. So
Wow.
there's something education brings to the table. Even though it's not everybody that is educated that will become excellent or proficient in what they do.
Yes, sir.
But I just feel like there's this touch education gives you. Okay,
Mm.
for instance, now you go to school, you meet people who buy clothes from the US. You understand?
Yes.
Their parents are rich, they buy them. You now bring something that you just sold. They won't patronize you. So that will now it will help you up your game. Do you understand? It will help
Yes.
you up your game. Then also, I just feel like there's a time. Um, if have you seen a 50-year-old trying to learn how to drive before? It's more difficult than
It
when
will-
a 16-year-old is learning how to drive. A 50-year-old.
Yeah. Yes, yes,
When
yes,
you
yes.
when you learn how to drive at the age of 50, it's more, or you learn how to ride the bicycle at the age of 50, it's more difficult. So
Yes,
sometimes I
sir.
just feel that there is a time to go to university, even though there is no
Mm.
timeline, just like Mr. Chris has said, but there is always a right time. I don't know how to put it succinctly, but there's always a right time. So if the parents feel like they want her to go to school, by all means, I won't advise them to sell that land property, just like Mr. Chris said. But they should explore other options. They should, even the person that they want her to go to school. Does she really want to go to school? If she doesn't want to go to school,
That's
she
the
can go to.
problem.
Do you understand? She can go to a
Yeah.
fashion school.
From
You
school.
understand?
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
you can go to a fashion school, and even if the resources for university comes along the way, she can even be sewing and be doing an educational degree. Before by 4 years time, she will have become a pro. Yeah, I think that's where I will leave it for now.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, sir. Wow. This is really, really, really amazing. I have learned a lot. So, Sir Joshua said you can go to a fashion designing school. All school is school, right? So you can go to your fashion designing school if you want to. You see, we'll talk about education. So persons are educated in areas that even those that have a first class certificates, they are not. So you
Yeah.
can see if first class graduates in business administration still struggling to run a small business, while an Igbo man, Igbo people now, they have that business sense, to how to manage and multiply their income and stuff like that. And they are succeeding in that aspect. And you feel that, oh, me that is going to school, I don't know it yet. It's because you're not educated in that aspect. So we need to get the right kind of education. So, like Sir Joshua said, if you are a fashion designer, or if your cousin is a fashion designer and she really wants to do fashion designing, then she should go to a fashion school. Wow, thank you so much, Sir Chris and Sir Joshua. Thank you so much for this wonderful answer. I think I still have about two questions here, and some persons are still sending in their questions. Mm. Okay, this one says, I run a laundry shop. I am a second year student, as a 200 level student in the university, and I am having a hard time, trying to balance my business and my school. Sometimes I lose so many customers. Hello, hi, the sketch wizard. Okay, sketch that says I want to contribute. Okay, thank you, sir or ma'am. Please send a message to the number on the screen. I believe you can see the number. I have typed it and placed it there. Okay, thank you very much. So I'll send the link right away. Thank you. Okay, so this person says that I have a laundry shop and I'm a second year student. I'm having a hard time trying to balance my business and my school. So the person needs advice because sometimes he loses customers and sometimes he misses lectures, which is really telling on both the business and the school. And as an addition, it says, my parents are also surviving with the business. So while in school, he's also feeding his parents. Maybe his parents are old, but the business is surviving the family. So he really needs your advice, Sars. So if you have anything to say, please let's give this person an answer.
Okay, let me just say this. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, let me just say it here. I always advise students, if you are in school, don't take up a business that is time consuming. For instance,
Mm.
I have a young cousin who is in the university. She does pastries, peanuts, chin
Mm.
chin. You fry, you cut, you now begin to put them in bottles. It is so
Wow.
exhausting. So I now told
Okay.
her that, why can't you just go into a business like selling wigs? Wig is just to
Mm.
put it in your bag. Oh. When you get to class, hey, before the lecturer comes, you know how ladies are now. So that's
Yes,
sometimes,
sir.
because at the end of the day, if it takes your time, chances are that you come out with a bad grade. You understand?
Yes.
So wisdom demands that
Yes.
you don't take up For instance, if that person was studying medicine, I can bet you that that person
Mm.
cannot do laundry. You cannot study medicine in Nigeria and be doing laundry. It's not possible. You will fail on both
I do
ends.
not.
You will fail. So wisdom demands that pick up, you can sell bottles of perfumes, things that you are not packaging. There is no value chain, so to speak. You are not packaging, you are not recycling. No, you just bring your bottles of perfume out, sell wigs and all that. Those sell things that um is time consuming. Then for your parents will survive. Oh. That's just a reality. I'm not saying you should not
Mm.
help your parents, but they
Yes.
will survive. I've not heard of anybody that died of hunger in Nigeria. I've not heard. Oh. Nigerians, Nigerians are elastic. Nigerians are adaptive. You understand? Honestly,
Yes.
I'm, anybody
We are
that knows
tough.
about people that died of hunger, let me know. But the parents will survive. But it's just that's where mentorship comes in. Ability to guide these younger ones. Sure, you understand? I saw the stress my younger my younger cousin was going to university. It was too exhausting. Even putting
Mm.
those things in those plastic bottles takes hours. I'm like, no, now they will now order for meat pie. You now be doing meat pie. No, when your mates are selling wigs and they are making times two of what you are making. So wisdom demands that something that is not time consuming. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Wow, thank you, sir. That was a very beautiful one. Sir Chris, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, and where I am.
Okay,
Hold on
should
for
I
me
come
some few
again with the
minutes.
question?
No, I heard the question. Hold on for me some few minutes. I'm coming.
Okay, sir. Okay, so someone said I should send the link, so I have already sent it, please. If you have a contribution, you can hop on the studio and let's hear you out.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
The place is quite noisy, so um, you just have to try and then um, manage for me. Okay, so the question is, they're a business, right? A laundry business.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this world is all about value, okay? And
Mm.
what is not valuable to you, you don't waste more time on it. You don't waste time on it. When
Yes, sir.
we consider Steve Jobs, I don't know if you know Steve Jobs. He's the brain behind Apple phone, that is iPhone.
Yes, sir.
When he
Yes.
went to
Steve.
college, that he realized that what he was doing did not really align with what he wanted. It was not bringing many value. He stopped
Mm.
college and then decided to go for what he wants. It is very good for students to do business in school because that is a very good environment to test your business idea to see how, I mean, solid it is, if it would help you or not. So you must first, if you think you love going to the school and you love doing business, it is not an offense, it is good. But then you must try and then do what we call strict time management. You must have a time you go for lectures. That one you don't handle it. Your your
Mm.
your school handles it. But then the time you do business, you can handle it. And you can make it such that your customers understand you and come to you when you're available. So that business wouldn't be like your customers will demand your time
Mm.
even
Yes,
at the
sir.
time you are busy. You're a student, and that is a limitation. That cannot help you do the business as you want it fully, as you want to have all the time. You know, education or your school is also taking a part of the time. So that is the price you pay for being a student and then an
Mm.
entrepreneur. So you must try and arrange your stuff such that the customers know when they are coming to you. I have some people on
Hello.
my status, they do importation and all that. And they have a specific time they tell their clients, if you want this product, please, this is the time for you to make an order. Make your order now so that we can get it for you. By this time, I am
Mm.
closed, I'm done. There's nothing that I can do about it. And she has people patronizing her. So you must add value to what you are doing. That's number one.
Yes, sir.
And also
Um,
try to make your schedule set that it doesn't affect your school time. That is if you truly appreciate your school thing too. Because you
mm.
don't have to lose on any side. So you must adapt what I call strict time management and then trying to set up business
Hello.
schedules that do not
Yes.
interfere with your schooling schedules. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sir Chris. Thank you, sir. So Sir Chris
Yeah,
said,
and
add value
Prudence,
to
I
work.
think this is where I can end for today.
That's no
I'm
problem.
currently at
Yes.
a place
This
that
is
is
the
very,
last
very
question.
noisy.
Thank you
So
very much, sir.
all
Thank
right,
you.
sure.
We really do appreciate your
Hello,
presence. Thank you, sir. So, Sawisam is on stage with us. So, Sawisam, hello. Thank you
hello.
so much, sir, for joining us. Hello, sir. We can hear
Okay,
you.
I want. Okay, I wanted to make the a contribution regarding the
Okay.
question of the girl who wanted to be a fashion designer and her mom wanted to sell their only plot of land to fund her to school. If
Okay.
I think I'm right, if that's the
Okay.
question. Okay, so regarding regarding that question, I heard one of the speakers saying that a tailor went to school and a tailor who didn't go to school, they are both different. Okay, actually, I want to talk on that. Regarding that question, the girl is actually trying to go and girl is actually trying to go and go into she's trying to actually trying to go into fashion designing, and her parents want her to go to school. Now, the school we're talking about here is the university, not secondary school or primary school, basic school. You get? Okay,
Yes.
now different stages of school for their reason, like different stages of school has their purpose. If you want to go to school, if you want to learn how to read and write, like how to speak fluently, properly, write well, spell, then that's not what you're going to be doing in university. University is not for that. You're going to be doing that in your basic, in your primary school, in your secondary school. That's when you learn how to do that.
Mm.
Now, the university we're seeing today, going to the university doesn't make you, especially here in Nigeria, doesn't make you a better fashion designer. Why? Because without going to the university, like someone actually said that there are some there are some gifts you have, or there are some talents you have, and you know that okay, this is what I want to do in life, that you actually don't really need to go to the university to accomplish them. And if you are getting
Wow.
me, why am
Yes,
I
sir.
saying this? Okay, now the girl wants to be a fashion designer. She could actually go to a fashion school or go to YouTube. YouTube is the biggest university, as we can see.
Mm.
She can go to YouTube, download the right videos, and watch them and improve on her skills and her quality, and even
Wow.
outdo a so-called fashion designer who went to school and say, okay, she studied what is it called? Maybe a course related to fashion designing whatsoever. Going to school doesn't warrant she being better at the fashion designing. Okay, now let's look at some big names like uh, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates. These guys that dropped out of school. I'm not literally saying that it's not good to go to school, but these guys literally studied programming, worked on their stuff at their backyard, from the backyard of their homes, whatsoever, and then came up with something. Mark went to school, but he was programming before he entered school. He was programming
Mm.
right from doing coding, like right from when he was like 13 or 14 or so. And then he dropped out of school. Why? Not because school isn't good, but school has a limitation of what they will teach you. But if you want the real education, if you want to really prosper in that area of your calling, you have to go
Mm.
ahead. You have to go and read books. You have to go for
Yeah.
materials you get to actually
Yes, sir.
improve yourself. School is not a warranty to make that say, okay, you're going to be better in your field, in your area of field. Okay, now school was, you see, school, and when I say school, I mean the university. School was actually created to actually produce working class people, people that they can tell, do this, do that, according to the industry standard, and they do it. That was actually the original uh, purpose for school. You get? That's why you
Yes.
see a person can come out. Okay, now let's go back to Nigeria. Yeah, you see the labor market keeps increasing every day by day, and every year, each graduating year, the labor market keeps increasing. Why? Because the occupations, or should I say professions, that were actually made, like that were actually made for school subjects, which are things like law, doctoring, engineering. Those professions are actually not like the demand for people needed in those professions are actually not like before. Why? Because we're now going into new ages like AI. You get technological era. Now you now see new professions like video editing, content, graphic designing. These professions that don't actually look that don't won't actually make sense back in the days. They're actually coming up now. You actually see things like, okay, I'm a
Mm.
drone expert. You get, these are the professions that are needed now in today's world. I'm not saying we don't need doctors, we don't need engineers, but the demand has become lower. Now, let's go back to the main topic. As like I said school was made, like university, those courses, those subjects you see, they were actually made to create workers, not entrepreneurs. So if you as a person, you're like, okay, I want to go into music, or I want to go into okay, let's go back to the fashion designing. This girl actually sits down and watch the right videos, like videos talking about latest style in fashion designing, or some hacks or some crazy ideas you can put into fashion designing. Get
Mm.
books to like improve herself, because there is this guy, Elon Musk. He actually said he went to school, but looking at it, he feels like school is not really like doing the right thing. Like, he actually said in the postcards that even if he didn't go to school, he would still be where he is today. He said because he read books. Books was what helped him, not school. Actually, because you see, the educational system was actually built around a particular purpose, and that purpose, after some years, is now actually rendered almost useless. Sorry to say that. Why? Because the school system was built to solve problems of back in the days, 90s, not problems of today. The problems we have today are different, but we're trying to use the solutions of 50 years ago. The solutions used to solve problems of way back like 50, 60 years ago to solve today's problems. Why? Because the school system has not changed. And if the school system has not changed, the solutions that they are giving us are problems for yesterday. That means more and more people will be added to the labor market. Because
Mm.
why? More and more people will be added to the labor market. Because why? The solutions are meant for yesterday's problem, not today's problem. Now, going back to that girl's fashion designing, like I said, she can get those materials, improve on herself. Her parents should take that money that they want to invest into our schooling, because one thing about school in Nigeria, especially, so many parents do come and meet me like, my children want to enter school. What do I do? How do they go
Mm.
about it? I do tell them, I say, school system is not like before again. Right now is different. How? What do I mean? You can go to school, then you will say, okay, I want to borrow book from my classmates, and to read, to meet up because I didn't have money to buy book. You can fill my school fee. But now it's not like that again, because right now the school system is very, very corrupt. You have to spend and spend money. So that land that they want to sell might not even be enough to cover it for the school. But if they should take that money and go and invest into
Yes.
buying tools that the girl will need to
Mm.
further a fashion designing career, and
Exactly.
the girl can continue reading books to improve herself, improve her knowledge, improve her capacity, I tell you she will do way, way better than a fashion designer who went to school and say, okay, I studied fashion designing in school. Even in America, this is, doesn't apply to just, okay, Nigeria or only African countries. It applies to everywhere around the world. Okay, there is this big film studio called Marvel Studios. Now, Marvel Studios started something some years ago, and people were like, these guys are crazy. What are they doing? When people do come and say, okay, we want to employ you, bring your resume, bring your results, bring things that you have accomplished, degrees you have accomplished in maybe 3D animation or VFX, film editing. Yeah, then what Marvel does is Marvel don't ask for those qualifications. What they do is come, sit down, show us your work, show us what you can do. And when they did that, they were able to
Mm.
get one of the best. Why? Even if they are giving you a project as a different company, they will not ask you for a qualification. They will ask you, show us your work. Why? Because that's what matters. And they were able to discover that majority of the people who did well are people who didn't go to school, but built themselves and worked on themselves and improved their capacity in whatever they are doing, in that video editing, VFX, and 3D animation. Then the ones who were actually coming with degrees were not actually able to uh, deliver well like those other guys. Why? Because their knowledge is most times limited to what the school teaches them. You get?
Mm.
Their knowledge is not as broad, like they can't go out of the box. They are just like caged in that box where school, they are just like caged in that box in which the school courses and the teachings, the courses outlines where they are and where they ended. That's what they just. There's difference between what you are being taught and the real world. This man who wrote Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, actually said that uh, people who go to school study what is called theory, and then they come they come and they face real life challenges. These real life challenges are the real challenges, not the theories that
Yeah.
we bring up in school. You get? So, in my own case, I will advise that that girl's parents should go and invest that money into buying materials she will need to further her fashion designing career instead of taking it and putting her in a school, because actually, in this day and age, that is not going to help in solving the life situations and problems. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, sir. So, Sir Wisdom said, go to YouTube. He says YouTube is the greatest university. You know, in this our generation, in this era, in this age, we are exposed to so much information. I mean, we have lots of resources at our disposal, and we have to utilize them. We have to make the most of them in order to be the most that we can be. So, school is not enough, and if you go to school, also improve yourself. Also educate yourself beyond the classroom. Don't just end it in the classroom. It's been a very, very great time with you all. And thank you so much for your presence. Thank you for your questions. For everyone who requested to come on studio, I can see your messages. I promise you. The next time I will be starting with this person. So we promised to go on for 1 hour and it's already past 1 hour. It's great having you all today. I hope that we learned something. I have jotted down a lot. I have learned a lot. And thank you so much to all our speakers. You are amazing. Thank you. I love you all. Bye.